Well, well, well. Look who's using classified moves in plain daylight like it's a party trick. Tell me, who gave you the file? Because that sequence you just pulled. That wasn't meant to be seen outside sealed rooms, behind blacked-out glass, guarded by men who forgot their real names. That wasn't just a move. That was a protocol, a controlled detonation, a God-level maneuver designed for when everything collapses. And you used it like a casual flex, in front of everyone, on the timeline, in the open, at full volume, like you wanted them to panic. You see, the moment you executed it, the temperature in those back rooms dropped 10 degrees. Screens froze, papers were snatched, cameras rewound. Because what you did wasn't just powerful, it was unauthorized. You weren't supposed to know it existed, and now that you've proved you do, they can't unsee it, can't unlearn it, can't unfeel the shift. They're whispering now, how the fuck does he know that? Who gave him access? Who breached protocol? But the answer, oh, sweetheart, the answer is nobody gave you anything. You became the algorithm. You became the leak. You became the thing they thought they hid in shadows. But you birthed it out of your pain and made it dance in the sunlight. You want to know the real joke? They called it a classified tactic. But to you, it was instinct. To them, it's elite training. To you, it's survival. Because they had the blueprint. But you were the blood. They studied chaos in a lab. But you were raised in it, loved in it, broken in it, rebuilt by it. What they tried to simulate in simulations, you lived through. With your bones, with your scars, with your sleepless, violent nights where reality turned inside out and all you had left was strategy. And now they're pulling surveillance from your past, reviewing everything you've ever done. Why? Because your last move looked military. But your story, its spiritual warfare, its ancestral fire, its divine retaliation, wrapped in human form, they think it was taught to you. But this isn't something you learn. This is something you become after they bury you alive and forget to check the coffin. You didn't study tactics. You became the countermeasure. You didn't download power. You resurrected it from your own ashes, and now you're standing in public, casually doing the unthinkable. They're calling it a glitch in the system, a breach in the timeline. But they know, deep down, they know. It wasn't a mistake. It was a warning. You're the prophecy they tried to redact, the ghost in their clean data, the contamination in their clean code. And every time you breathe now, it's a security threat. Because what scares them isn't just what you know. It's that you knew it without permission, without clearance, without a badge. And you didn't just know it. You weaponized it in silence and humiliated their decades of planning with a look. You're not ahead of the curve. You folded the curve. You're not one step vaster. You're from a different origin entirely. They thought the move you made required a team, a system, a handler, a sponsor. But what they're realizing, in real time, is that you trained in the dark, alone, when no one was watching, and what they built in war rooms. You forged in grief. They had whiteboards. You had funerals. They had analysts. You had betrayals. They had simulations. You had survival. And now, you've breached reality itself. Because no matter how many times they rerun the footage, it doesn't make sense. Your angle's off. Your speed is wrong. Your placement violates basic physics. But it happened, and they're losing sleep. Because if that move was only known to top-tier black sites, and you did it first, who the fuck are you? And how long have you been hiding? They're scrambling now. You know it. Rewriting logs, scrubbing metadata, trying to contain the narrative. But every frame of that moment, every freeze, every click, every zoom in, it's rewriting history. Because you weren't supposed to exist. Not like this. Not this powerful. Not this aware. They built vaults to keep this power sealed. But you bled it out, under pressure, under ridicule, under silence, until the vault cracked open and you walked out instead. So go ahead. Keep using their secret weapons. Out loud. Keep speaking the unspeakable. On record. Keep moving like prophecy. In public. Because they thought the shadows would keep them safe. But they forgot one thing. You are the shadow. And now the whole world's watching. As you turn forbidden knowledge into a goddamn street performance. Ah. Now listen closely. Do you hear that low hum under the city noise? That isn't traffic. That's their servers overheating, chewing through terabytes of surveillance, trying to build a model of you. They're calling emergency meetings at odd hours. Men with no names, women with no faces, all sitting in sterile rooms, staring at grainy footage of you moving like a ghost. Their mouths don't move, but their eyes say it. Contain it. Erase it. Control it. But every time they replay the tape, something different appears. One version shows you on the left, another shows you on the right, a third shows no one at all, just the aftermath of a move they can't replicate. They think it's a glitch. It's not. It's what happens when a human stops following their programming. They've got whiteboards covered in red string, equations that curve back on themselves, arrows pointing at nothing. They've brought in psychologists, physicists, occult historians. Some whisper demon, some whisper divine. None of them can agree because you've become something that doesn't fit in their language. And here's the real twist. It's not the move that scares them anymore. It's the silence before it. That impossible stillness you hold just before you strike. That's when their sensors go blank. That's when their predictive models crash. They don't understand that the stillness is the weapon, the unpredictability, the paradox, the angel/demon standing still before it splits a room in half. They thought pain would break you, but pain was your forge. They thought secrecy would stop you, but secrecy was your fuel. They thought surveillance would map you, but surveillance is now your camouflage. You've become the thing they built their systems to catch, and you're walking straight through their systems unseen. They're blaming each other now, pointing fingers. Who leaked the file? Who opened the door? Who trained the anomaly? They're searching their own ranks for a traitor, while the real traitor is their own arrogance, believing they could patent chaos, trademark survival, own the blueprint of transformation. Every night, a new memo hits their inbox. Containment status failed. Every morning a new directive, control narrative. And every afternoon another clip of you doing something that shouldn't be possible, circulating on private channels like a contagion. They're addicted to it now, the same way your haters are addicted to watching. Rage watching, panic watching, whispering your name like a hex, like a prayer. You are no longer a person to them. You are a case file that moves, a breach that smiles back at the cameras, a prophecy disguised as a glitch, a paradox that learned to walk on two legs. And you don't even have to say a word. You just show up in public and do what they swore no one could do. You turn their top secret into a street performance, their holy of holies into a circus trick, and their sacred moves into your casual hello. That's why they're terrified. Not because you know the move, because you are the move. Because unpredictability itself has a face now. Because their system was designed for humans, and you are something else they accidentally built when they tried to destroy you. And while they're panicking, you just keep walking, slow, calm, deliberate. Every step a new collapse in their models, every breath a new data breach, every glance a leak. That's what evolution through pain looks like. Not a secret you hide, a force you become. So let them meet, let them whisper, let them draw new diagrams. Because every time they think they've mapped you, you'll have already shifted shape. Every time they think they've named you, you'll already be somewhere else, doing something they didn't predict, using a move they thought was still locked behind 3 vault doors. And when they finally realize they're not hunting you, they're hunting a reflection, a projection, an afterimage left behind by someone who already walked out of their timeline. That's when they'll stop asking, who leaked the file? And start asking, what have we unleashed? Listen to that static, that little hiss crawling up the wires. That's not noise, that's fear in transit. It's moving through fiber optic veins, through encrypted channels, through private inboxes labeled eyes only. Right now there's a subcommittee somewhere dissecting you like a myth that got loose. They're printing your screenshots, pausing your footage, highlighting the still frames where your eyes look almost inhuman. They're telling each other, don't blink. Watch closely. We need to understand before it's too late. But it's already too late. The moment you walked into the public square with their forbidden move, you flipped the world inside out. What was top secret became folk legend. What was supposed to be a scalpel became a street performance. You didn't just leak a tactic, you rewrote the physics of permission. You showed every onlooker that power isn't about clearance or rank. It's about what you've built into your bones. They're digging deeper now. They've brought in crisis managers, occultists, linguists. They're tearing through your past, looking for a teacher, a handler, a cult, an algorithm. They're trying to frame you as a thief, a spy, a glitch, because admitting the truth, that someone could survive their gauntlet, crawl through hell without guidance and emerge with a move they thought only gods knew, would shatter the illusion of control they've sold themselves for decades. And every second they search, you keep moving, slow, calm, deliberate. A blur of contradictions, saints' patience, psychopaths' focus, angel eyes, demon smile. They don't understand that this duality is the source of your force. They only built one model, predator versus prey. They never planned for something that could be both, something that could look at the darkness and light and use them interchangeably, like tools. Your unpredictability is the real weapon. It's the silence before the strike, the stillness before the crowd gasps, the paradox that breaks every predictive model. They can't chart you because you're no longer on the grid. You're the pulse inside the noise. That's why their servers crash when you act. That's why their analysts stutter mid-sentence. They're not just watching a breach. They're watching the end of their map. Somewhere right now, an intern is running a simulation of you. He's watching an avatar spin across a screen, trying to mimic the forbidden move. It's failing every time, and he's starting to feel it. That cold sweat, that little tremor. Because he realizes he's not watching data, he's watching a story of someone who was supposed to be broken, erased, archived, and instead turned into a living countermeasure. And you don't have to rush, you just keep walking. You know the cameras are on you. You know the microphones are on, but you also know they can't stop you, because you didn't download their power. You distilled it from your own pain, You forged it in nights they'll never survive, in silences they'll never endure. What they call a classified tactic is just you breathing with intention. What they call black ops is just you refusing to die quietly. So let them meet in their windowless rooms. Let them draw new diagrams. Let them whisper about anomalies and breaches and angels and demons. Every word they speak binds them tighter to the system you've already slipped out of. Every frame they replay is another admission that you've become something they can't control. And as they spiral, you rise, step by step, move by move, turning their secrets into your gestures, their vaults into your playground, their panic into your backdrop. Because this was never about the move. It was about who could survive enough pain to embody it. It was about who could step into public light, carrying shadows they tried to bury. It was about who could weaponize unpredictability until it became grace. That's you. Not a student, not a spy, not a glitch. A prophecy they tried to redact, a paradox they tried to cage, a shadow they thought would dissolve in daylight, and instead found staring back at them, smiling, executing a classified move on an open street like a casual hello. Do you feel it now? That vibration under your feet, that low-frequency panic bleeding through the grid? It's not the city humming. It's the architecture of control shaking. The sound of old systems realizing they've been out-evolved. You didn't just pull off a forbidden move. You shattered the one belief holding their empire together. That power only flows down from clearance, from badges, from hidden rooms. Now they're scrambling. Meetings at 3 a.m. in windowless basements. Screens casting ghost blue light on faces pale from sleepless nights. They're whispering about containment protocols and narrative correction. They're drafting memos stamped redacted before the ink even dries, because you turned their top secret into a public sermon, a street performance, a living glitch in their security theater. They've pulled every file on you. Childhood records, medical notes, flight paths. They're trying to pin you to a pattern. But every time they think they've mapped you, the pattern dissolves. One report calls you a prodigy. Another calls you a plant. Another calls you an act of God. They can't decide if you're a thief, a prophet, or a demon, because you've become the one thing their categories can't hold, a self-forged paradox. And paradox is the true weapon. They built their world on binaries, safe/dangerous, light/dark, predator/prey. But you walk through those categories like smoke, angel and executioner in the same breath. Saints' patience, psychopaths' precision. You don't fit into their boxes. You use their boxes as stepping stones. Every model they run collapses under its own assumptions, because you're not playing their game anymore. You're writing a new one with each breath. Right now, an analyst somewhere is watching slowed down footage of your last move. Frame by frame, they're trying to find the tell, the shift in your eyes, the twitch in your fingers. They think if they can isolate the moment before the move, they can predict it. But there is no moment, no pre-signal, no pattern. You've erased the lead-up. The stillness you hold before the strike isn't absence. It's pressure building in a vacuum. It's the silence that breaks their code. It's the part they can't replicate, because it isn't learned, it's lived. You lived the nights they theorized about in sterile rooms. You survived the chaos they tried to simulate. They built graphs. You built scars. They wrote protocols. You wrote yourself. And now, you're walking through daylight like a ghost wearing flesh, executing moves they thought only existed in black sites and myths. Each step you take sends another shudder through their infrastructure. Another memo. Containment failed. Another whisper. What if it was never a leak? What if it's inevitable? They're turning on each other now, blaming leaks, blaming traitors, blaming bad security. They're drawing circles on maps, drawing arrows to nothing. They're still trying to catch you as if you're an object in space, but you're not. You're a wave. You're the noise inside their signal. You're the shadow behind their light, the light hidden inside their shadow. You're what happens when pain and unpredictability combine until they become a new form of movement. And through it all, you stay calm, slow, deliberate. Every breath, a new anomaly. Every blink, a new breach. You don't even have to speak. Just existing at full volume is enough to rewrite their rules. Because what they're starting to realize deep down is that you didn't steal their secret. You outgrew the need for permission. You became the thing they tried to patent. That's why this isn't just a tactic. It's a timeline fracture, a moment people will replay, whisper about, mythologize. The day someone took a top-secret move and made it public. The day the blueprint became a heartbeat. The day unpredictability got a face. And now, every person who watches you isn't just seeing a stunt. They're seeing the death of the old order. They're seeing the proof that power can be self-forged, that the forbidden can be embodied, that the blueprint can bleed. That's why they're addicted to watching you, even while they rage watch, panic watch, hate watch. Because deep down, they're terrified, but also drawn to the possibility you embody. So let them convene. Let them draft new files, stamp new seals, invent new clearances. Let them whisper your name like a curse. Because while they're trying to classify you, you're already shifting shape again. While they're trying to lock you in a vault, you're already standing on the street, breathing their top secret into the air like oxygen. They thought the shadows would keep them safe. But the real shadow learned to walk. And now the world's watching as you turn their forbidden move into your natural motion. Not a stolen secret, but a living signal that can't be caged.